This is what I came to see. Didn't even know about the other two or even this amazing garage it's all sat in. Let's all relive our youth and let's look at the 90s hot hatches, all modified.
About to buy CDs of mine.
So first on the list, the Renault 5 Turbo. This is an ex-feature car from, let me look what it is, Performance GTI. Anyone remembers these? They were the 1.4 Turbo back in the day. Plenty of things you could do to them. And if you come in, I'll show you what always scared me about these cars. This used to scare the hell out of me, age 20. Look at all the pipes that go everywhere. Vacuum hoses, water hoses. And this is why I never got involved in these things. 1.4 Turbo, these things could make 220, 250 horsepower back in the day. Quick car for a 1.4 Turbo. Then if you go inside, you've obviously got the obligatory standard Renault 5 dash, massive rev counter, all the obligatory gauges. It's been stripped out with the full chrome roll cage. And I think the thing that's been changed from originality of when it was featured in the magazine, I think he's changed the seats. And I have noticed if you stand up, it has this like K-Tech large spoiler that was not on the original feature for the magazine many, many years ago. Some people are going to complain about the spoiler, but again, people are into the max power era. This is perfect. So let's move on to the next car. Obviously, the Nova, will go more into that one in the coming up, so we'll leave that one. And then you've got the Fiesta Turbo lookalike stroke XR2i. It was a very underrated hot hatch because people always went for the RS Turbos rather than the XR2i's. Super clean build, all original apart from obviously the bonnet, which is the RS Turbo. RS Turbos had these vents. These have been smoothed in. Like it, it's a nice touch. And I do like how this one sits because I would guess it's on the 16-inch Mondeo Escort Cosy style wheels. Recaro interior, beautiful to be part of this collection. And it also shows that the owner of this collection is more about nostalgic 90s hot hatches. It's not like a specific brand where he collects all Fords, all Renaults, all Vauxhalls. It's a full mix and match. They've all got a little bit of nostalgia, but we'll get into the owner now. We'll get some questions and we'll get this backstory about this collection. Obviously, I bumped into your Max Power Union.
You did?
Saw this one.
Yep.
And obviously I know this one from back in the day. We'll get into that one. Didn't even know you had these. Where does this fascination come from? Why haven't you got an RS3 sat in here?
When I was a bit younger, I used to bother over people's and I got a bit of a fascination for little fast cars.
Right.
And, obviously, once I got the means to be able to hot hatches.
Right, so it's just hot hatches in general. There's no specific brand.
No, I'm not a brand guy. Ford versus Vauxhall, I don't like, you know.
You don't care.
I don't care if it's a nice car that I enjoy. It's
You can see that. Yeah. So let's start with this one. What's the story with this one? Is it an original Max Power car? Was it originally a Renault 5 and you've done it up?
It pretty much come as it was, without them wheels. I bought it from down south somewhere about 5 years ago. Been sat in the garage since 2003. Was
it originally clean? As you just got it buffed?
Yeah, I mean I've crashed it once, so front end's been replaced, but I believe it's been in Fast French or Performance French or some magazine.
Right.
Back in 2003 when the original guy built it. I think it's dynoed at about 220.
That's all right for these little things.
Yeah, it's a quick little car.
Yeah,
I can't seem to get a clutch that'll last longer than a couple of months.
So let's leave this one because I want to come back to this because this is obviously my love.
Yeah.
Fiesta Turbo, same thing, just wanted a Fiesta Turbo?
It's an XR2i, that, to be fair.
Oh, is it really? Right, okay.
Yeah, it is. It's an XR2i, and I've had that in about 5 years. Same again, 2003, it got put in a barn, scrolling through eBay, seen it.
In that condition with duck wheels?
No, I've had that one painted. Other than that, I mean, it's on its original sills, original arches.
Wow.
Very clean, to be fair.
Lovely car,
yeah.
Lovely car. Do you use these much? Or is it literally just all the right?
Yeah, went with us like this, I'm out in them all the time.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they don't just sit in here.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
because most people, you go have this kind of setup, they literally put the cars in here, clean them, and then that's it.
No.
Used and abused and enjoyed.
Every time they go out,
fantastic.
Smiles per gallon.
Genuine.
Wow. That's what they're there for.
Let's talk about my love. Courtenay Sport, back in the day, they built, how many did they build? You know.
I think they built, rumour has it there were 4 or 3 or 4.
Right.
Apparently this one it's supposed to be a Courtenay Sport, but it's not a Courtenay Sport as in, it was built by a guy called Chris Bow, I believe, with the help from Courtenay Sport. So I don't think it's actually been on their ramps in their building.
Right, okay.
But it was.
Because this had always been kind of down as one of the Courtenay cars,
Yeah,
hasn't it, really?
yeah. I don't think it was actually in their workshop.
So before we get into the history of this thing, this is May 95. So as you can see, front cover, Nova Dose, 150 mile an hour turbo terrorist. And this is the car. Now I would have been 15 years old when this came out. It was a very nostalgic car back in the day. To do 150 mile an hour in a Nova is, to be fair, quite crazy. As the owner said, Chris Bowles built it alongside Courtenay Sport lads. But again, I think everyone will agree it's still kind of classed as a Courtenay Sport build. But what is interesting about this is 95, imagine how much a Calibra Turbo would have been just for an engine, just to put it in this car. Never mind having your mate strip the car, put it in. So this would have been an insanely expensive build. So what's the story of this one? How did you end up with it? Because I remember seeing it's been for sale for a few times.
Yep. So I built a Silk Violet one, Nova, restored one of them, and then Red Line competitions.
Yes.
Ended up buying it. So I had some spare money and I seen it and I just thought, you know what, it's something to do, keep me occupied. So yeah, so I bought it and it got dropped off and then it needed, well, it looked quite good on. You know,
When I saw the adverts, I've seen the adverts and it did look quite good in condition.
Yeah, it was. Been painted about 90% of it again.
Okay.
To be fair, which is, and I've done it myself, but I've done it in my unit at work and to try and get an absolutely perfect job.
Oh, it's
in
lovely.
a load of dust.
Listen, it looks stunning. It really does,
yeah,
mate.
I mean, it's an old car, so there's going to be loads of little bits and bats if you look
them.
around it. Oh yeah, I use them. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this one every time I go out, it just gets abused. It's because that's what I built it for. Obviously, these are on private roads. Yeah. I get it. See, that's the fun, that's the nostalgia there, mate, right there. Smiles per gallon.
Genuine.
You don't get that with, you don't get that rawness with your new Focus and all that one. Yeah.
That's what it's there, yeah. That's 100% what it's there for. Yeah. So when you got it, did it come with the trim? Did it obviously, was it a complete car? 'Cause I can't remember the ad. I remember it being half together.
It come with a bumper that had been chopped for big intercooler like they did back in the day, so I've had to source that. Interior, Dad's actually interior, shout out to him. He's one
that's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, he used to do a lot of Max Power cars back in the day.
Right.
And he's got Max Power books stacked up with all his interiors in that he's done. So I found material, obviously with car being pink, I thought, why not a little nod to Corsa Sport? And
it's
that,
amazing.
You know?
It looks really, really good.
So yeah, that's that what.
And did it come with the reg?
Yeah, reg on it. Yeah.
Because that's what they were.
That's pretty much what makes a car known.
100%. That's when, like I say, when I saw it pull in to the show, I automatically. The thing that always stood out with this one that I always remember was the vents.
Yeah.
That was always one because I love the vents. Yeah. But then obviously I saw you pull in, I saw the vents, and I saw the reg, and I went, oh yeah,
it's back.
It's the one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because there's a green one.
Yeah.
Which is A16TB.
Yeah, that's the original.
That's the original number one car. Yeah, that's still alive and going.
Yeah, that's in Scotland. So it's been painted purple or something now. Or is that the?
Yes, there is another one knocking around. Purple one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is another one.
And then you've got your green one that you did a video on last time.
Yes.
So a funny story with that is I bought that car to knack to build this.
Right. Okay.
Right. Because I bought it off of a lad. It had the very slightest of bumps in the back. And it fell out of it, guy. So obviously I went over thinking it was going to be worse than it was. And when I got there, it was never even there. So I bought it. because this has got one of them DTA standalone ECUs, and I'm not up to date with any of that. So I just thought I'd take out wire and lumen out of that other, put it into this. So anyway, so I bought them stickers. I bought these stickers for this, and I put them on that. I bought 2 sets basically.
The original Courtenay Sport stickers.
Yeah, the green ones that are on that. Yeah, I bought the ones for this, and I thought, oh, well, I might out. I'll just order some for that and stick them on that.
So what did you do? Did you then take some bits off, or did you sell it as a complete
No,
one?
I enjoyed it quite a lot. So I thought it's a bit of a shame to pull it to bits. It is a clean car.
It is a clean car, yeah.
So yeah, I just got a strap, took back light out, got a strap, give it a little, literally just pull it back light out a little bit, and
wow,
and enjoyed it. And then yeah, went to Scotland, did that, and then ended up buying a Sierra Cosworth. Lost a lot of money.
What I class now as the Courtenay cars are, it's a specific look. Speed lines.
Yeah, sheep wheels.
Yeah,
personally don't like them.
Do you not like them?
Nope. No. The
I
only
think
reason
they're the
I've left
best
them on is
wheels. I think they're the best wheels on the Novas there is
I
for
like
me.
the comps. I like
Oh, you're a comp man?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So the view's always been, like say, Courtenay's always been speed lines, everything hidden away, brightest, vibrant colours that stand out, and that's always what Courtenay cars were. Right. So obviously I saw Danny's, thought, oh, is this one? 'Cause it's green, it's got all the bits and pieces on it, and obviously this one you can't really miss because obviously the reg.
Yeah, and it's bright pink.
And it's bright pink, yeah. Purple, pink, green, and then there's another Danny's green one. So what's the goal for these? Just enjoy them, use them?
Yep, basically, yeah. I must have had 16 boxes day after max power. Do you want to sell it? Do you want to sell it? You know, it's... Nah, I don't think I do.
The thing with this is for me is, in the Vauxhall world, it's a piece of history for us. That's what this is. And like I say, it's nice that it's been looked after and it's been restored. Because like I say, you could give it to someone else who just doesn't really use it and just abuses it or breaks it.
I mean, I do use it, I do abuse it, but I also look after it. You know,
which is what they were for. That's the whole point of having these little hot hatches, is to go out and enjoy.
Yeah, well, that's it. You can't keep them perfect if you're going to use them. So I think it might even still be clean under there because I haven't used it since that max power. I literally just pulled it off at truck and
mega clean.
Yeah. Isn't it? It's just a look.
I'm a nostalgia person, and this is what a lot of this story is. It's nostalgia.
Yeah.
So I know you're chasing them because we spoke about your DTA problems and all that type of thing. It's the visual thing for me. People who don't really know what these cars are, because obviously my channel is all diverse from everyone from Ford owners to Vauxhall owners to everything else, to explain what this is. Back in the early 90s, you had all the tuning companies that did all the performance based on models. This was Courtenay Sport, who's obviously logos down the side, was the main people who did the Vauxhall conversions and the Vauxhall tuning. So this was one of the original ones built in the 90s from that kind of first batch of cars. It was like 3, maybe 4 done. I'm sure at some point I'll be able to contact the original owner of Courtenay Sport and do an interview with him about how that all started. But these were like the flagship models from back in the day. They would always have speed lines on. They were always very subtle with like standard bumpers just trimmed down, but there were always these very bright, vibrant colours. Like obviously this one being pink, there was like a deep oak green colour. That's what made these things stand out. And you've also got to think about in the early 90s, to have a little Nova do 150 mile an hour was crazy. These aren't the most safest things in the world, and if anyone who's drove a Nova, they're not the nicest at speed. To do 150 mile an hour in one of these would have been insane back in the early 90s, and you would have had an insanely quick car. So to dive into some of the specs of this it will do current specs because obviously it's changed over the years as stuff's been modified. They always had these famous registration plates, A16TB, H16TB. They always had them, and that's how you know these were the cars. It's a sealer engine with an F28 6-speed. They were normally mapped to around 300 horsepower. Courtenay Sport would do like a performance package where it was turbo upgrade, chip upgrade. Again, to dive in, which I really like about this is any one of these now that have that original turbo cover on, I think it looks really, really classy in there. Some stuff these you had to do with the Novas back in the day, if people don't really know. You had to plate the turrets and stitch weld them because when you had an XE or a turbo engine in there, they would technically rip themselves apart. So what they was called was, they had a Nova Rally book, and it was how Vauxhall built the Nova Rally cars. And that told you how to basically weld up the weak points on these cars. So the Courtenay lads and even the Nova boys today still use that book as kind of the Bible to find out where they need to strengthen. Other things you would do obligatory was they would always put this trim over it just to hide the scuttle panel area, just to make it nice and clean. And obviously this one now is a fully rebuilt, fully forged engine. It's running DTA, 260 horsepower. The owner would like just over 300. That's going to come in the future. Let's look at the wheels. These are crazy nice wheels if you ask me. These are the best wheels on a Vauxhall Nova there is. 16-inch speed lines, Wilwood 4 pots. It was kind of thing. And another thing I've just spotted is it has rather than just a lowering block, it has all these custom rose jointed arms. I would have thought that's a new addition to the build, because I wouldn't have thought they were out back in the day, maybe just for the rally cars only. But that's a nice little touch this car's got. Then moving to the rear, I wouldn't know if the GTEs or GSIs had discs. I would have thought they were all on drums, but this is on a full disc conversion on the rear, lowered down, and as you can see, sits so nice with the Speedline wheels. GSI side skirts, we'll get to the interior in a minute. Massive, had to have the obligatory 90s 3/4-inch outward rolled exhaust, which I think every car on the planet had back then. Looking back, this has aged so well, and I still think it looks great today. So let's have a look at the inside, because that's the one thing that really stands out for me. You could not pick a better interior colour scheme to go with the car. It is so nice that these things are being restored, looked after, and still kind of got a slight modifications being done. So the interior, again, just Nova, as everyone would imagine. It looks like it's had these door speaker pockets made. It's got the obligatory Alpine edge unit, but I think you'll agree, this interior trim is perfect for the car because the colour match is almost identical. Nova Sports and some Cavaliers had a tartan trim, which is why he's gone for this style to match the colour. It's just a nod to Nova Sport. Beautiful interior, really, really nicely done. Even little touches like the pink trim round the steering wheel, the pink light. It's just beautifully clean. Door cards all done. All the pink stitching. It's just very, very subtle modifications on this car, which look so nice. And then when you go around to the rear, I think there wasn't a single guy used to drive around the town centre who didn't have a set of 6B9s in the parcel shelf and a base box. But again, this is just a really nice way of doing it. And as listen, people who watch this know I'm in my 40s. This is how you do it nowadays, because you just want it to be still have that little bit of in your face of having the speakers, but have that subtle touch of the trim, it looking clean, it looking tidy, and still having your music for when you're driving around. But this is beautiful. What you don't know is, so if I was to sit straight, the steering wheel's slightly off.
Yeah. Really?
The steering wheel's slightly off to one side.
That's weird.
Yeah. Very, very strange thing with the Novas. They always sat to one side. Your feet always went a different direction. And you can imagine in 95 doing 150 mile an hour in one of these. I love it. I will say as a driver, and I knew it was going to be like this, so when you put big brakes on an Nova or Vauxhall, the servos could never keep up, and the pedal was always a bit spongy, and this is the exact same. Nostalgia. An old Nova, I mean, they're whoop-tish. And what's good is, it's not the fact of it's the fastest thing in the world. It just makes you smile because it makes me feel 18 again.
Yeah.
Well, the brakes are all right when you get on them.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
You're all right. It's that first initial push. Oh, I know what he's not done.
What?
I'll tell him. He's not fixed his speedo.
Really?
His probably his transducer's gone. What a car. This is lovely, this. This is lovely. It is.
It was built that long ago.
Yeah, to say it was, like I say, originally done in 95. And yeah, it's had a bit of restoration work and brought up to modern day standards, but nah, it's lovely. And like you say, you don't see stuff like this on the road. A bright pink Nova.
Hello, yeah.
And that's all you need, just a little You don't need nothing more, really, just to cheer you up.
I do wish I was alive when this was like
in the era.
In the era, yeah. This is what you would want.
That's an exhaust. Yeah. Nowadays, I think the industry of cars, they've made them all very for the right reasons, because of safety. They're all very sturdy. They're all very planted. They're all very solid.
Yeah.
So you don't have that old school turbo lag.
Yeah.
You don't have that. The dash is rattling on you. You know what I mean? It weighs 700 kg. There's none of that nowadays, which I think takes the fun factor out.
Yeah, I think it does a lot.
And well, that's the description I get when I speak to people who have done the new GTRs.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
fast. They do everything, but they do it so well. It's not exciting.
Yeah.
It's just mint.
It's class. This all sounds class as well, to be fair. That's proper old
It's
school.
funny, innit? It's just funny. Oh,
He was right
it's in
about
there
the gears,
somewhere.
wasn't
Load of lag.
he? There's a lot of lag, to be fair, isn't there?
Load of lag. That's obviously, that was a third gear, so going from third, didn't drop it to second. If you drop it to second, you would come straight on.
Sounds amazing. Just like anything new cannot compete.
No?
Like, I feel like the young like people like me haven't experienced it, so you don't want it.
Correct.
Like as soon as you experience it, you're like,
This is what I want.
yeah, you want this.
Yeah.
You feel like you're driving it. You feel.
Yeah. Because what'd be funny is I could put someone. We'll use. Robert's got a friend called Ash. We'll use his friend Ash. Ash has a 400 horsepower S3. Very nice car. But a new car. If you put him in this, he would think this is so much faster than his S3, even though technically it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just because it's torque steer, lag, boost. That's and that was the entertaining part back in the day. We never had the solid cars that were well made and they felt together and all that type of thing.
This wheel spin's fun, doesn't it? It's class. One of my favourites I've been in.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just raw. It's just
You can tell
raw
why the
and got
fascination
power,
kicks in.
like the Clio dimmer was raw and I liked it, but it didn't have the power like this.
Yeah.
It's only difference.
Oh, typical. Everyone knows. It's not got the
Yeah, we've done that.
the self-returning indicator stalk. So I've been indicating for the past 2 miles. So a very, very clean Nova Turbo is about, I've seen them now, 15 to 20 grand, okay? This one with the history, the nostalgia and all that type of stuff, it's got to be over 20, this one.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can't replace it. It's very hard to get parts for it,
Yeah.
and he's out kicking his head in, and I love that, because that's what they were for.
Yeah. It's made to kick his head in.
Yeah,
Oh, it is though, isn't it,
Yeah.
really? It is just a tin box
correct.
with a big engine, so.
For him just to enjoy and go out on a
Yeah,
Sunday and have a drive on,
I just love the rawness. It's just.
of weighing nothing and having a turbo engine.
It's just so fun. I think I like it front wheel drive as well.
You can see the
Because
fascination
you
in,
can
can't you?
just-
Yeah, you've got the torque steer.
Yeah.
And as much as you're probably not going very fast, it makes you feel like you're going fast.
Yeah.
And that's what these old school cars were about, it really was.
Yeah.
That's why I had this fascination of putting big engines in little cars for this feeling. Good experience.
Yeah, great car.
And what I'm enjoying, like I say, you to get out,
Yeah, I
enjoy
get to
them,
experience it.
experience it, what I've already done.
As a youngster.
Again, I go for a drive and talk about the driving, and you can experience it as someone who's never been in the
Yeah.
scene and realise what the fascination for me was.
Yeah. Like you did this 20 years ago.
Yeah, you're just doing it now.
Let's do it now.
So what a collection. Obviously this one's the best one for me, and I think a lot of people will agree. The nostalgia value, the 150 mile an hour Nova in 95, this is the best one for me, and this is kind of some of the reason why we've came. And it's also been really nice on this journey now to get my son out in these cars to realise that the old school lag, the lightness, the rattling, all that experience that I had when I was in my 20s and late teens is the reason why all this fascinates me. The torque steer of the turbo lag. I'm really happy that my son can enjoy it and come along with this journey, and we can get out, and rather than get my response, which unfortunately is normally a bit plain, we can get his response. But I think you'll agree. Beautiful collection, beautiful cars. Really glad I came over and saw this. Really glad I bumped into a Max Power reunion. So we'll sign this video off. Plenty more to come. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's all relive our youth. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.